So what happens when, things go sideways for you? You just dust yourself off and you do it again. So here we go. This is retake on being authentic as a lawyer and what does that really mean? So I know that we hear this a lot today. Authentic is a big word. It's a popular word. You see it in lots of social media posts and marketing, and you see it all over the place. But, honestly, what does it really mean? Well, to me, it means two things for lawyers. You need to be yourself and you need to be honest. And you need to be honest with yourself about your practice. You need to be honest with your clients in your marketing to them. And you need to be honest with your clients about your area of practice and how their case or their engagement will work. Um, but you also need to be, transparent. We hear that a lot too. But you need to be transparent. People need to understand what is going to happen as they move through the legal process. And you need to be yourself. And we're going to talk about that in terms of marketing in a few minutes. But let's start with being honest with yourself about your practice. I think that's the first step. And what I mean by that is this: asking yourself some very simple questions. Do you like what you do? Do you like your area of practice? Do you like the people that you're working with, your professional colleagues, your team? Do you like the clients that you work with? Now, for most of us, the answer is yes. And for most of my career as a practicing lawyer, absolutely, the answer was yes. But there did come a point for me when the answer was no, and I had to make some big changes. So I know there's a certain percentage of you out there right now that are saying, the answer is no. Either I don't like the legal work that I do, I don't like this area of practice, or I don't like the team that I'm working with or the setting that I'm working in, or the area of practice is okay and the team is fine, but I want to do something different. So you might be working in a big law firm or a small law firm, but you really want to be the single decision maker and you want to make that leap to a solo practice. But you have to start with honesty to yourself. So in my case, I had done personal injury for many, many years and reached a point where it just wasn't what I really wanted to do anymore, wasn't what I could get up and be excited about every day going into work. It just wasn't. And I knew I needed to make a change, and I made a big change. In a couple of ways, I went solo, and I developed a whole new area of practice. Over time, can't do it overnight, but I did that because I was being very honest with myself, finally, about how I felt about the work I was doing as a lawyer. So be honest with yourself about your practice. Now, once you've done that, what's your next step? Certainly, you're going to be honest with your clients. And I know that lawyers are most of the time, but sometimes we can try to put a spin on things that isn't entirely accurate. That's only going to get you in trouble. Clients need to understand, of course, from the very beginning, this is what your case or this engagement, whatever it is you've been hired to do, this is how it works. You lay out the process for them clearly. You lay out a timeline as clearly as you can. Now, in certain areas, I think that that's much easier than in other areas. So if you're in litigation, there's a lot of give and take. There's a lot of postponements. There's a lot of hurry up and wait. But tell the clients that right in the very beginning. The more honest you are with them in the beginning, they might not like it. I mean, there's lots of things I had to tell clients about delays. They certainly didn't like it, but they knew I was being honest with them because I was always honest from the very beginning. The same thing if you're in, say, a more transactional type of law practice. And you may not be able to give an exact timeline, but give your best estimates and tell clients, it is my best estimate, but I'm being honest with you. To me, that's what authentic is about, and being honest about the results. I think this is something that is really hard for us as lawyers when you have to tell a client, look, I can help you with this issue, or I can handle this case for you, but you need to understand what's the probability of success. And this comes up in litigation all the time. It certainly came up when I had developed a disability practice. I had to have this conversation with clients all the time. What's the probability of success? What are the strengths of our position? What are the weaknesses of our position? Again, I didn't want there to be surprises. We never do. And so it's important to have those honest conversations with clients from the beginning, but on an ongoing basis, so that they are reminded of what you told them in the very beginning so that they don't forget. The third place where I think authenticity is so important, but is really fun as a lawyer, is being yourself with clients, being yourself in some of your marketing pieces. Now, I did a newsletter and for clients and for anybody on my mailing list, clients, referral sources, potential clients, everybody. And at the time, I was actually doing hard copy mailing, if you can believe it, snail mail. But I had a client base that was where they were most likely to see it. They were not likely to see email because a lot of them didn't use it. So I would do a mailed newsletter. And in the beginning, it was all buttoned down and all legal and all about, the ins and outs of disability and the rules and regulations, all that stuff. And while was important to me, and certainly was an important part of the practice, that's not what was important to clients. Clients want to know, can you help me? And if so, how? And how much will it cost? So I changed the newsletter and I started putting in what I called my personal note. And it would be a story or something from my life that, would have a message to clients at the end. But frequently it would involve funny stories about my husband and I and things that happened. And he's a great inventor of many things to solve problems around the house. And so there was an ongoing series of stories about his fight against the squirrels in our yard and the bird feeder. We had a couple of bird feeders. And of course, if you've ever put up a bird feeder, you know that squirrels love to get into the bird feeder. And he invented some funny and amazing, ultimately, contraptions to keep the squirrels out of the bird feeders. And I would describe this in each newsletter and subsequent newsletters and tell my clients what was going on. And they loved it. They loved it because it showed the human side of me. I was just like them in so many respects. And it helped them to feel much more comfortable talking to me. And I would get questions like, so tell me, what's happening with the birds and the bird feeder? And how's your husband doing with that? And has he been successful? And it made me be able to relate to my clients on an entirely different level. There was the professional level, which is very important, but on the human to human level, which is extremely important. And so those clients, I know you've heard this before, they became raving fans. And I got an unending stream of referrals from existing and former clients because I was able to make that human to human contact. So don't be afraid of it. For me, at first, it wasn't easy. I'm going to talk about myself. They don't want to hear about this. Yeah, they really did. They really did want to hear about it. So keep that in mind as you are preparing, your marketing materials and contacts with your clients. Keep that in mind. Showing yourself, being authentic with them, being who you are. They really love it. They will appreciate it, and it will help you make your firm more successful. So that's one tip I have for practice, success tip. If you go to my website at boldwomenlawyers.com, you can download my solo success guide. There's a lot of other tips in there. And I would love it if you would drop me a comment and let me know how are you authentic in your practice? How are you authentic in your clients? I bet you have some great ideas, and I would love to hear them. So drop me a message, and I'd be love to read what you have to say. All right, that's it for today, and come back next week, and I'll do another practice success tip. Bye.